What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Jam Session. It's your boys, Juan and Mo here. It's V-neck day.
We got on our uniform.
We got we got a uniform. Look, this was unplanned too, so we got the V-necks on. Mo, glad to see you, man. How everything been going for you?
Yes, sir, man. I've been doing well. Blessed and highly favored, as they would
Sir.
say. Yes, sir. Doing good, man. Just grinding, working on my personal career, also working on some personal goals and taking on those challenges head on. Because really, if you want to be successful, you really don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely a grind. And that's what a lot of people feel and realize when it comes to success, man. You gotta put that work in. Ain't no way around that. So,
Oh yeah, 100%.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
think. But today, man, I just kind of want to jump in and we can kind of touch on Mother's Day. I
Yeah.
know Mother's Day recently passed, and that's a very special day for a lot of people. And I just want to touch on the impact of in our lives of mother. And I'll start with you, man. I'll just ask you. I knew your mother coming up, growing
yeah.
up. She left an impression on me, and I know she's definitely missed from her friends and family, and definitely you, her son. And Miss Mary was consistent, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? I personally, I always thought Miss Mary was organic and very genuine in the way she would always treat me. She treated me like one of the boys when I come in there and didn't hold a tongue. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your mama know you out there. I know you know what I'm saying. That's Mother Miss Mary. We all going tonight, Trey. We ain't going on, Miss Mary. We get chilling. Mm-hmm.
Lie. That's what she used to say. Lie.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So jump in, Dewan. Man, tell us about Miss Mary and the impact, how she helped you out.
I appreciate that, Mo. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, Mary Hathaway. Heavily Mother's Day. No, she played. Anybody who know my mother, like you said, she played a huge impact on me, especially on the spiritual side. I had a great relationship with both my mother and my father. They were married for 39 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, before my mother passed. And man, I could tell you so many stories that I vividly remember her doing. And it was two in particular. Uh, the first one was when I was a senior in high school. And you may remember this. We had just come off from winning state championship. My senior season, I think it was your junior season. We had that 0-3 start. Like we lost NBA, Riverdale, and I don't, whoever the other team was. But we lost 3 games in a row. Hendersonville. We lost 3 games in a row, and I was just like down and depressed. And it was the weekend of my birthday too. I ain't never forgot this. So like, I went home after the game. I couldn't go to sleep, and I was just up, like just moving around the house. And I finally went to go lie down, and underneath my pillow, my mama had stuck this book underneath there. It was Max Licado's Daily Inspiration. Matter of fact, hold on, I got the cover right here. Yeah, I still got the cover. I don't know what the rest of the book was, but it was this God Inspirational Promise book with Max Lucado. And she had it underneath my pillow. And it said 2-1 from your mother, Mary Hathaway. 9399. Telling my age, but that was significant to me because I went through that book all night long. All night. And for her to put that underneath my book, like she always kept me grounded on a spiritual level. And that's one thing I can always say about my mama. Like whatever challenges I was going through, she would always revert back to uh biblical foundations. and that has never left me throughout my course of my life. You know, I mean, anytime you come over, she always preaching at us about something like, y'all need to do this, y'all need to do that. Even though we didn't want to listen to it, like 99.9% of the time, she was right. And no, I really appreciate her instilling that within me because that has helped me during challenging times in life. She's not here physically anymore, but those lessons that she implemented into my life still are playing a huge foundation into who I am now. And I credit that to her. Um, I can't put in enough, I can't put in enough words. Like it's so many funny stories. Like I know if you remember, like she was such a big supporter of me, especially like playing sports. Like I don't know if you remember, like that time. It was another time, like when we were freshmen. You wasn't there yet, but we had lost another like 3 games in a row. We were freshmen, and my mom, I remember this. She came on the field at halftime, and she was like, "Y'all boys need to get it together. If y'all win, I'll make breakfast for the whole team." Like that. I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, she ain't gonna make no breakfast. We losing this game. We ain't finna come back and win this game. But for some reason, we came back and won that game like 63 or something. And she stayed up all night. I stayed up with her. She stayed up all night long. She cooked for the entire team breakfast. She made like um, sliced potatoes, chocolate chip cookies, biscuits, chicken, like all types of stuff. And you know how many? It was like what 60 people on the team.
Yeah.
I didn't come from a rich family, but she bought all this food, man, for the whole entire team. And if it was some of the dudes here that experienced that, they'll tell you like that kind of like that just kind of tells you who she was. She didn't care about what color you were, uh, where you come from. If you came over our house, you came through our door. She always did her best to make you feel welcome.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
that's the kind of mother that I had. And God bless her. I'll tell you another story later. Like when she passed, she even had the preacher scared. So, so, hold up. So when she passed away, uh, and that was like unexpected. Like it's crazy because I remember like vividly, like when she passed. Like backtrack, we was at my brother's house, and it was Memorial Day weekend next week. Uh, we had a dinner at my brother's house, and we was all sitting there, and we had started watching the movie Up. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Up, but in the movie Up, there was a part when um, the wife passes away and leaves the husband, and that party played, and my daddy was like, "Well, I'm ready to go, Mary. You ready to go?" She was like, "No, no, no. I want to finish watching this movie." It was weird, like it was like an eerie feeling, like something just didn't sit right with me, and she wanted to finish watching that movie Up, and I remember as she was leaving, there was like the front door of my brother's house. It was open, and she kind of like I said bye, I gave her a hug or whatever, and she kind of looked back at me and gave me like this smile, but the smile wasn't like it wasn't like a smile. It was like, okay, I'll see you again. Like that smile, I wasn't at peace about it, and I remember telling the person I was with at the time like something that set right in my stomach, like about that night. Fast forward, I drive back. I was at Fort Benning, driving back to Fort Benning. Got back, and I was going to practice or something. My brother called. He was like, "Yeah, um, mom's in the hospital or whatever." I said, "What happened to her?" Like, and it's like, "Yeah, she wasn't X, Y, and Z." Fast forward, I was like, "Well, keep me posted on her." It's like, "Yeah, she's fine, but she's in stable condition, but she ain't doing good." I was like, "All right." I was like, "I'm about to head home. Keep me posted." It was like I was in the car for like 2 minutes. Like the gym was literally like 5 minutes from my house. I was in the car maybe 2 minutes, and she passed it, and it was 2 minutes. And it was just like a shock to everybody. She was only like 56. My mom was like 56, so she had a short life. But fast forward to the funeral, I guess at some point she went to this church and the pastor pissed off or whatever, and she rebuked him. So I didn't know this now. So I don't ask the dude to come preach this sermon at my mom's funeral and whatever. So we get to the funeral, and the funeral director come looking for me. She's like, "Dewan, pastor need to talk to you outside." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go outside and talk to him." So I told my dad I'd be right back. Pastor need to talk to me. He get out there, he's like, "Dewan, how you doing? I know this is a bad time, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to preach at your mom's funeral." I was like, "What you talking about?" I was like, "What you talking about?" Like, he's like, "Well, your mother had rebuked me." I was like, "She rebuked you?" I was like, "What you do?" Like, I was like, he had to do something like foul for my mama to rebuke him. You know, man. I was like, he must have pissed her off, like for her to be like, "I'm gonna rebuke you." He's like, "Yeah, she rebuked me, and I don't know if I can do it." I was like, "Man, like we at the funeral now. She dead now. Like she, she can't come back and cuss you out again. Like just run with it, bro. I'm pretty sure like she don't forgave you X, Y, and Z. This is your redemption time right there." But no, man, it just kind of showed me like my mama, dead or alive, had like an impact on people. She was a character, and you know, she was funny, whatever. And like I said, man, all the lessons she taught me, I still haven't forgotten. I still carry her name and my father's name with pride. So like everything I do, I always keep them at the forefront. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
That's
man.
good. The funny part about that story is, honestly, in that moment, I think uh, that pastor that was his opportunity for redemption, and
Yeah.
he missed it. You know, an opportunity to share that out with people. That if and in his way, with the help of the Lord, send her off and apologize. You know what I'm saying? And that was his moment of redemption, and he kind of missed it there, which Miss Mary had a way of exposing you. You wasn't real.
Yeah, bro.
If you wasn't real, she gonna expose you, and that exposed Buddy to show that he wasn't real.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
you should
Uh,
see his face, man. His face was red. He about
yeah,
to.
I believe it.
He looked like
I
he was going.
believe it, man. So, uh, and I will say, Miss Mary was somebody when I would come by the house, she'd always offer me something if I needed it, food, lotion. Boy, your ankles is rusty. Hey, Miss Mary, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But whatever it was, if I'm pretty sure if I had never needed a place to stay, anything, Miss Mary would have been there for me.
Yep.
And she was like that with everybody who stopped by, all of us, all your friends coming up. It was very impactful, and especially growing up how I grew up, coming from a single parent home. It was good to see you having both parents in the home and the impact of how they raised you and your brother and your sister and the things they did for you all. Kind of gave me an example to model after. Um, and what people don't realize, for a lot of children who grow up for whatever reason in single parent homes, when they have friends um, that they can go to and they get treated well, there's a learning quality to that.
Yeah.
You kind of get a prime example to kind of see that, right? Because you understand, life ain't perfect. Everybody's not perfect, but
Right.
you getting the opportunity to see something that you don't see in your home.
Yeah.
So that's how I viewed it. That's how it helped me. And Miss Mary, we love you. We miss you.
So
Um, and I'm very fortunate to still have my mom, Miss Alicia, uh, here with me, and um, I was able to get her a gift and spend some time with her for Mother's Day. She loved it, man. She's at that age now where, you know, hearing from her children is generally the highlight. And her grandchildren. And that's a blessing, because the one thing I realize is not everybody has that opportunity,
Yeah, man.
and I won't have it forever, but I will cherish the moments that God gives me to have it. I'm very thankful for that. Brief story about my mom, man. On the other spectrum, my mom was a good mom. She always provided and made sure that I had what I needed. I never went hungry. I always had clothes. Always had everything I needed as a child. Um, where we kind of differ at is growing up in a single parent home. It's a little bit different. You know what I mean? I was the youngest child at this point in time. My brother was, 7 years apart. I was the baby of the family. I got other brothers who were out of the house,
Yeah.
cousins. Everybody was older than me, so I was the baby, man. And um, my relationship with mom was a little bit dicey. You know what I mean? A lot of love because that's my mom, but I felt like a lot of times I missed out on certain stuff. The stuff that my brother got to do. I watched some of my cousins and other family members get to do when they were around about my age. And I figured I was going to follow suit. I'll be able to do this, that, and the third. I'll get me a little car. I'll be able to go here. I'll be able to do that. And it wasn't like that for me. And I think what that was is my mom and even my grandmother, Miss Addie, God rest her soul. She was very instrumental in the raising of me. But I think something that they saw and see in me that I didn't see in myself because I was young, going through middle school and high school, my adolescence, that I needed to be held. I needed to stay close to the hip. You know what I mean? That left to my own devices and given some of those freedoms that other people may have had, I may not have been mentally prepared or been ready for that. And being older, uh, I understand that, and that's the lesson I've learned to help me grow. And I know, and that's a weird perspective because I know a lot of people don't. They may not see it that way, but I had to take time to sit down. And as God grew my spirit, as I read more, as I learned more, I experienced life more. I started to see that my mom and them was keeping me close to the vest because young me was a motherfucker now.
Yeah.
I was wild, but not in a bad way. But I was very exploratory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So left to my own devices, man, I could have easily ended up in jail, running with the wrong crowd, making babies. You know what I'm saying? I was curious. I was very curious about them young girls now.
Get them goods.
I love them, and I couldn't get my hands on. Couldn't get my hands on. But anyway, uh, and as I grew older, man, I understand what that is, and that's important as a parent because I use that tactic with my daughter, just kind of knowing this is not something she's ready for. You know what I mean? As she progresses, and I continue to teach her and breathe life, and God breathes life in her, and I feed her from the fatherly perspective. I feed her spiritual and her mental, and prepare her for what's next. Because that my experiences has helped me dealing with my mother on how to be a better father, and even help my wife out at times on examples and areas to be helpful as a father, giving information and working with a mother to be a great mother to a child. And as we've gotten older, I've developed a better and a loving relationship with my mom, and I get it because I was a male, because I was the youngest, because I was grew up in a single family. It taught me to be self-reliant a lot. It taught me to be tough because I fast forward once I got into the real world. I started working. I had to buy my first car. We didn't come from a rich family either. So my first set of wheels, I bought it. I had bought a 87 Camry in 2001, the summer I graduated. I graduated 2001 from high school and went out bought me an 87 Camry for $2,000 for $75 a week. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know I was getting got. They got me. They got me. But
Yeah.
that's part of it. You know, I was paying $300 a month for a damn 87 Camry with damn 270,000 miles in the motherfucker. But that's neither here nor there. You're learning. You know, you're 18 years old. You're getting out, and you're trying to figure life out. And I had those challenges, but those early challenges early on
Mhm.
helped me to be patient with myself, helped me be patient in trying to learn different avenues. And I've been blessed in that, man. And honestly, I thank my mom. I love what she provided for me. And when I needed her, she was always there. So that's that's my spiel. And a shout out to my grandmama again.
Oh yeah.
My grandmother Addie, man, she was tough as nails on me. But I needed that at the time I needed it. And again, I have to reiterate, being the last child, being the youngest male in the society that we living in, left to my own devices, man, ain't no telling what I would have done. So they watched over me and kept me close until the time where they it's like a wind up toy.
Mhm.
They wound me up until it was time to let me go.
I
And
like
then when I broke free, God has been blessing ever since. I've had my challenges, I've had my struggles, I've had my ups and my downs. But like that wound up toy, as long as I got a smooth service and a good platform, I'm gonna keep on dancing. I'm gonna keep on dancing. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
So and that's the way I look at life. So that's the value in my upbringing for me.
I like that. Now you said something, Mo, and we ain't got to go too deep on this. We just gonna touch on it. But the word tough. So when I think about your grandmama, Miss Addie, Miss Lisa, my mama, that whole generation, they were a tough generation of people. And because you got to think of the times that they went through, they came through segregation, uh, Jim Crow, all that stuff that they had to go through, those challenges that they went through at the time. And I feel like they had a tougher skin. And I feel like that's what, and not to discredit moms now, I don't want current moms to say like moms are horrible now, but I feel like, and you can speak on this too, we saw it. I feel like they were just a lot tougher in the sense that they didn't compromise who was the adult within the household.
That's
We
right.
still ate at the dinner table. We still went to grandma's house. It still was a level of respect. You said yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Like those values were constantly instilled, and I felt like that's gotten away from. We've gotten away from those times. It's now I see. This is just my opinion. I feel like mothers, current mothers, are more friends to their children than they are parents. And there's nothing wrong with being a friend, but there has to be a fine line of who's the authoritative figure within the household.
Got to have that balance.
Got to have the balance, and I feel like that's what's lacking now. And
Well, that goes back to me talking about experiences with Miss Mary,
Mhm.
and there was other friends too that I grew up with that had a parental type of relationship with us
Yeah,
when we would go different places. And, that it takes a village to raise a child is a very true thing,
oh
and
yeah,
we had prime examples from other friends and other places we would go and friends we would be around on a clear authoritative figure on
Mhm.
telling us, boys, y'all ain't hey, not in here. You have to do that. Do your mama know you doing that? Do your daddy know you? You know what I'm saying? They
Right,
would take the reins and not allow us to get out of pocket.
right,
Now, because of the way society is, and this is my personal opinion, but what I see, what I is parents uh, who basically, if it's not my child, I'm not worried about it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're afraid to say anything to somebody else's children and discipline because now, man, you got cats, man, out here, man, you've seen it. The multiple stories, different stories of parents coming out instead of appreciating you keeping them child in line or online, right? Turns into an argument, a
yeah,
fight, or there's been instances where somebody done pulled a pistol out on
yeah.
another parent. You know what I mean? And I get it. I understand. Uh, but you have to have the wherewithal and sense enough to know that, you know what, my child was in the wrong here, and I appreciate this person being the adult to give my daughter some type of corrective corrective counseling. That's not acceptable these days, man. You're gonna be fighting.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fighting with parents, and I think a lot of parents is, well, it ain't my child. I'm just gonna do.
Leave it alone.
And then what happens is it makes for a worse society because
Exactly.
we don't take accountability and we can't correct each other in a nice, kind way. I mean, you know, you don't have to cuss anybody out and be rude and be mean about it, but giving somebody some corrective action, a little bit of discipline, you know, that's just not acceptable in today's society. And I think that's what we're missing. And I think our generation, Dewan, unfortunately, may be the last generation as a whole, because, you know, people our age, you know, I'm gonna say if you're about 30, at least I take it to 35 and up. 35 and up right now in today's society still has a level of raising and training and just
overall respect.
You know, just, you know, overall respect for each other. You know what I mean? Just something simple like if you live in a lifestyle, you do certain stuff, if I don't like what you're doing, I won't fool with you.
Yeah.
Like we ain't gotta talk. We ain't gotta be cool. We ain't gotta be friends. You just stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here. We good.
Yeah.
But see, now we have people who want to interject and that has nothing to do with you. And it's not even affecting you, but you still feel the you need to give your 2 cents on it. Well, this is wrong. No, you shouldn't be. And they telling you what you should or should not be doing. And they don't even have a dog in the fight. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the weird things about society. Somebody will interject and tell you something about you. It has zero to do with them. Everybody can you live the life that you want, right? Within reason, you know, within the law, and a good moral compass. I'm doing my thing, and the way I do it may not be the way you do it.
Right.
And that to what we're talking about goes along with children, man. So I'm very appreciative of the upbringing we had and how we were able to learn from each other's parents, learn from each other as friends, and grow our friendship and our brotherhood, which segues into the next thing, man. You know, overcoming. You know, overcoming obstacles. Yeah. Because you know, at each phase of life, each stage of life, you have various obstacles, man. You know, and unfortunately, and I'll tell you what, one of the things that I see, one thing I see about it, Dewan, is that when you've had a certain upbringing, it's helped you to toughen up in a way, a level of discipline. It makes a difference because you're prepared for what may come your way. Yeah. You can sit down and think about it. Like a prime example of this, it is my belief, and this is my belief. You look at people who do like go shoot up schools, grocery stores, or whatever. To me, that is a person who is obviously lost. You know, that's clear, right? They don't really have any guidance or any direction. They don't know how to respond or deal with people and convey their feelings to people, right? They don't know how to they're socially awkward, whatever the case may be. And think about it, man. You never heard one of these shooters, mass shooters, or somebody do something wild like that. You never heard them being the popular. They were the popular kid. If there is any instances, correct me. Drop it in the chat. Let me know. Comment. But to my understanding, it's not the popular child who does that. It definitely ain't no young man that's out here getting the ladies. You know what I mean? You gotta say, dudes out here who is moving around and they enjoy the company of women and they growing and they learning and they making money. Yeah, they're less likely to go shoot the school up.
Yeah. It always you're right about that. It does always seem to be like a guy who's bullied or kind of last person to be picked in line for kickball. Some
Right.
weird, awkward lack of social environment that he or she didn't have.
Right.
And to kind of like carry it off there, I think when it comes to like overcoming, I say this, and I speak on behalf of just like our relationship, having people in your circle or friends that's going to be truthful to you.
Right.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like if I'm having a low moment in life, and which I did, Mo, you didn't have any sympathy on me because you wouldn't allow me to be pity on myself.
Right.
You
And
told me one,
I think too is man, again, because of how we were brought up and how
yeah,
we were raised, man, you couldn't. I know my parents didn't fall for it. I know your parents didn't fall for it. Having that pity party,
nah,
you know what I mean.
life gonna go on regardless, man.
Right. Feeling sorry for yourself, that's not gonna get it, man.
No,
You got to figure it out. And I know, man, it gets hard. It's just times it's hard, and you don't know what to do, how to do it, and where to start, what to look to. But you got to figure it out.
yeah,
You got to figure it out, and ain't no point in taking it out on nobody else. That's not gonna change the situation.
no,
If I run out here and do something wild, do something crazy, or something like that, that's not going to change the circumstance. The circumstance remains. Matter of fact, I made it worse because now I've thrown my life away and possibly damaged and hurt other people and ruined their lives. So there's nothing to be solved by doing anything like that. And I get it. People are so overly emotional now. I'll say, man, you got to. It's a very difficult thing because people are not taking a deep breath. They're not they're not thinking.
yeah,
They're not they're not asking the right questions. Um, when they down bad, they down.
yeah,
They down bad. And it's like, I mean, and I get it, but I've been down. You know what I mean? I remember something that I overcame was um before I joined the military, man, I went through a spurt. I had lost my job. This is probably, I don't know if you remember that 2008 market crash.
yeah,
I had lost my job, uh, my car. They was calling for the repossession. Uh, you know what I mean? At the time, and I'm forever grateful for that. But at the time, my girlfriend at the time, parents let me stay at their crib. I slept on the floor in their bonus room, trying to figure it out because, mind you, the way I came up, as soon as I graduated high school, I was out.
yeah,
I was out. I was working. I had my own stuff going on. Got my own car. Working 2, 3 jobs, whatever I needed to do. I worked at the Toyota place, detailing cars. I worked out there, Pillsbury, flipping the biscuits. Uh, you know what I mean? I worked at this place. I worked at a little boat company making boats, laying fiberglass. I worked at this warehouse. I worked at that warehouse. I was on the tow motor. I went and washed brick mortar after they get through bricking houses, pressure washing, throwing acid in my face. You know what I'm saying? To clean them damn bricks. So I did a little bit of everything. But I think that's again how we were brought up. We were just brought up to overcome and make it happen.
make
You
it
know what I'm
happen.
saying? My goal wasn't to sit out there and pitch them damn bricks or flip them biscuits for life. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I had to do at the time till I figured it out. And
Right.
then in the midst of that, I had a job that actually at the time paid pretty well. You talk about 2008. I was making about $17 an hour in '08. That was pretty decent
Yeah,
money. And fine. They came up with an old bullshit reason, excuse me, to get rid of me, and that was it. Frank, like, in your office. What's going on? What on, Frank? Huh? Well, we got you on your cell phone. during the company time, you're supposed to be out there working, and you got a lot of cell phone usage. We're gonna write you up and send you home, and we'll let you know. Well, I knew right then and there you talking about sending me home. It was over with. You know what I mean? You had to let me know. You tell me now that I'm out the door, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm, but that's just one of them experiences that I had. And hey, look, my car, like I said, I got behind on bills. They looking for my car. I ain't had nowhere to stay. You know what I'm saying? Because the place I was staying, I had some roommates. They were putting a black ass out. You know what I'm saying? And that was, so that was that. I had to hit the ground running. And in the midst of that, I remember laying on that floor, praying, thinking to God, what am I gonna do, man? I gotta figure something out. I could put this ski mask on and take to the streets, but that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought about it. I'm gonna hit the streets. I'm finna go take mine. And then as I was laying there, man, I heard that dum 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 dum. That army commercial came on, and it said, it had all the list of jobs, and this when the army commercials come on and had a list of jobs you could do, and all this training, and it said now offering $20,000 bonus. Man, boy, I seen that $20,000 bonus. Well, I flew down to recruiter station. I was there first thing. I was at their recruiter station before they opened to join them army. And man, I said, man, y'all giving out $20,000, dudes. I didn't care nothing about what he was talking about. Yeah, man. Well, if you want to join, we can do that. That's it. But what about them 20 though? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, you'll get a bonus, man. It's only for select jobs, and I bet what kind of job I got to get them 20, nigga. Come on with it. And I signed up, man, and ended up I wanted to be an MP. And because in the past, over that course of time, I had interviewed two prior years to 2008, I had interviewed to be a police officer. But my uncle was a longtime police officer, God rest his soul. He was a mentor and very instrumental in helping me develop me as a young man.
Yeah.
Coming out the gate, and I'm forever thankful, forever grateful for what he provided. And he passed away in 2008, and I was devastated because it was very sudden and unexpected because he was doing well. I had talked to him pretty frequently. He had just retired from working in law enforcement for 40 years. You know what I mean? And when I got the call, I was devastated, man, because he was my biggest fan at that point in time in my life, and really, really instrumental in trying to help me figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And losing at that period of time after he passed, and then several months away, he had passed away, and I lost my job, and I'm trying to figure out. Hold on one second. Stop yelling because I'm recording. Sorry about that. I'm back.
No,
yeah.
you good. We good.
Hey, man. He had he was very instrumental, and in that time that I lost my job and stuff, he would have been definitely somebody that I reached out to on trying to figure it out. But it all happened in the same year, bro. He passed away, and going into the fall, I had lost my job because he passed away that summer. And going into the fall, I ain't had no job. I'm sleeping on my girlfriend, Flo, my parents, Flo, and I had to make some hard decisions. And man, I joined that army, and I called the bank and told them I ain't had no money. I let them come get my car, and they came and got it too. Loaded it on up, put on that tow truck, it was gone. I said, "Damn, just like that." But
Quick, they got my daddy one time.
Hey, man. Hey, look, it was hard times, man. But I had to overcome that. I didn't blame nobody. I didn't get mad at nobody. I didn't get mad at the world. I sucked it up. I figured it out. And I found me another little car for a couple $100 to get me around. Um, and I went to the Army Recruiter, set me up. I worked at a little place, little factory, got a little factory job for about a month or two before I could ship out. And I told dude, man, I want to get on the first thing smoking up out of here. And I think it was only about so the time I joined. He's like, man, we're about to come up on the holidays, so they're not doing any cycles because of the holidays. So I had to wait through Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I went through Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that January I was gone. I went to the MEP station, and it was all she wrote.
So you brought something up, Mo. I think this is where a lot of people fail to analyze themselves. Is you said that you had to figure it out. It was your responsibility. I see a lot now with people when they're in current situations that they are in life, they finger point. And some of the stuff that they say is true, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what decisions have you made to either change the situation, to change the situation that you're currently in for good or bad. And for you, instead of finger pointing, you looked within yourself and said, what am I going to do about it? Change myself. You didn't blame your mama. You didn't blame your daddy. You didn't blame your grandmama. You didn't blame your coaches. You said, what is Mo going to do about it? And how did that, well, I know you, but that's kind of been, because I've known you for a long time. That's been your strong point. Like you always overcame even when people doubted you. And it's admirable because I look at you and like, man, Mo got through this, Mo got through that. And it keeps me encouraged. We have our deep conversations on the phone, but I'm gonna say it publicly. Like, I know for a fact, I know where you've come from and see where you at now. Like, man, if people really knew like your story, I don't think they'd believe it. It's a testament to your hard work, your determination, and just overall wanting to change and turn that leaf on your family tree.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, man. And I'll tell you this. Uh, for me, uh, coming from a life, and I wasn't a bad dude, man. I never was in the
no,
streets. I never did any of that kind of stuff, man. I never really smoked. I was drunk, drank, but that was a social drinker. You know what I mean? My thing was just really uh, trying my best to chase skirts, and I called myself. I was doing music at one time and really trying to chase that and pursue that, and without a really understanding of what that was going to take to be successful. Uh, and what really changed my life, man, was when I joined the military personally. And I'll say this about the military, and it may not be for everybody, but what it was for me, it slowed me down and it gave me a sense of self and it helped me structure my life.
mhm,
And I think a lot of people, I see it on a daily basis. A lot of people are going through certain scenarios and certain stuff because they don't have a structure of what they're doing. You're just doing it. You're just going through the motions. And I know how that is because before I joined the military and figured out some structure and what that looks like. See, there's value to getting up at the same time every day, eating at the same time every day, exercising at the same time every day, working at the same time every day, getting off at the same time every day, rinse and repeat. There's value in that because what the value in that people don't understand to be successful, what it takes to be consistent, what it takes to be successful is the consistency of trying to be successful.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And people get frustrated after a month, 2, 3 months of doing something, and they're not where they think they should be in those 3 months. Man, you got to be consistent. You got to eat it. I had some hard days in that military, and I did a lot of self-evaluation and overcame a ton of things. And I'm very grateful for that experience after the fact. Now, I had some pretty damn days, like, I'm like, man, why am I doing this? This is that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But again, it was the consistency that got me through it. And then there's levels to life. Once I got out of the military, I transitioned to community service and law enforcement. That structure helped me do that job for the period of time that I did it. That military experience and structure and that consistency helped me complete and finish my degree to go back to school, because at that point in my life, I had the patience to do schoolwork and be consistent in it. You know what I mean? To get through the program. And once that, my ambition continued to grow. And I will say this, the most important thing to my story was the more I called on God, the more he gave to me. The more I leaned on him, the bigger and bigger and the more things would start to overflow for me.
Yeah.
In all things. When I went to Afghanistan, I deployed to Afghanistan. Rough time. And there were situations and scenarios I just didn't know. Mo didn't know how this is gonna go. Am I gonna make it through this situation? Because there's so much happening all around you in that environment at all times. You working 10, 12. I remember one time, man, I was out on the road for about an 18-hour period. And sleep, tired, stuff going on. You got a hold on the road, and can't get through because there's some stuff happening, and it's just, what do you do with it? And the only thing I knew to do was to call on God in those instances to protect me and the partners I was with, to help us get out of this situation, help us get through. And that's something I continue to do to this day, regardless of what it is. I call on God. When it's up, I'm calling God. When it's down, I'm calling God. When everything's smooth in the middle, I'm calling God. And that's what helps me. And I've not been a perfect being, but I'll say this. I've always said it, and I'll continue to say it. God doesn't call us to be perfect. He calls us to be righteous. He sent his son to die on the cross for our sins. And so you're going to make mistakes. He knows you're going to make mistakes. He knows you're going to mess up. And it's what you do through those mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not one to lay up in the mistake. You know what I mean? Shit, man, this ain't working. I'm going to course correct.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I see too many people, men, women, boys, girls, dogs, cats, and birds, who just doing this ain't going right. They lay up in it.
Yeah.
Man, you got to move. You got to
Something
move.
has to change, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that often. No, you brought up some valid points in that. And I think, like we said, it goes back to that foundation of our parents, our grandparents had a heavy reliance on God. Uh, that was where they gained their strength to endure those challenging times. Because I look at what we have now, man, what our parents went through and things like that, it ain't even remotely close to the challenges that they face to now. And I had that kind of like that. I won't say revelation, but I just felt I went to DC for 2 weeks, a few weeks back, and I remember I went to was it the Lincoln Memorial where they had the March on Washington, and I remember standing on that concrete and just looking at that statue of Abraham Lincoln and just visualizing where Dr. King gave his speech and all the thousands of people that was around that particular landmark. And I thought, man, like, what would they think now if they saw how our society is now? Like, what they marched for, um, what they got killed for, what they got injured for, and how it's almost like as if we're going backwards in society. And for me, just being there, just reminiscing, reflecting, I had an appreciation for the groundwork that they had laid. And I told myself, man, as long as I'm here on this earth, like, I'm not gonna forget the foundation that was laid by your parents, my parents, our grandparents, and hundreds of thousands of other people's parents and family members that they sacrificed for us to have at this current moment. And to me, that's a level of overcoming. Like, they overcame obstacles to make life better for us today. And it's important that we overcome obstacles to make life somewhat smoother for the next generation. We're both the fathers. Like, we don't want our kids to go through some of the same things that we did. So we try to teach them, teach ourselves, okay, how can we make this situation better for them coming behind me? And that's what they did. And when you talk about overcoming, like, I feel like a part of overcoming is laying the foundation for the next people. That's
Right.
an important aspect of overcoming.
That's right.
So
What and part of that, man, I think God puts us here to create, build, and pass on.
yeah,
Uh, create, build, and pass on. That's what my personal belief is. And unfortunately, society's in a place, man. If you believe in a heaven, you got to know there's a hell.
yeah,
And I think people in life, man, they just think they feel like they could do whatever. It's just no consequence to it. You know what I mean? And for every action, it's like science. For every action is a reaction.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And my spirit is a spirit of tranquility. I feel like uh, love thy neighbor, love thy brother, love thy sister, love thy wife, love thy child, love thy neighbor. Uh, that's me. That's my spirit.
yeah,
I would love to be in an equilibrium, in a tranquil world like that, right? God's created so much and abundance for us all. But unfortunately, that notion, I am the minority, it would seem, on a lot of that. Because society has got us just get from me, and don't worry about anyone else.
yeah,
Uh, and I get it. It because of the way society is set up, it's forced us all to be that way. Like,
yeah,
we when you go out and you work these jobs, you work a job, they pay you just enough to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They don't give you any more uh to go out and help people. If you notice that,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? You work a job, you got just enough to pay your bills, pay your car note, buy you some food. If you got kids, got just enough to, you know what I mean? And then you got to go back. It's designed uh, to keep people separated, to keep
Hmm.
people divided, and you have to know that. You have to see it. Unfortunately, people don't see it because they're so intertwined with wrapped up into what they got going on. They don't see it. Uh, you know what I mean? Forget them. It's all about me, man. I gotta get this money. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. I don't like this person. I don't like that person for whatever reason. And the reality of it is, man, uh, let me tell you, I've had the unfortunate experience of seeing when that bomb hits that body, when that murder happens, right? It don't care that bomb didn't care what color you was. It didn't care if you was boy, girl, black, white. When it hit, it hit. And
Hmm.
when the blood and guts get to flying, it all look the same. Uh, and I think people have had that perspective because we got different ones who You know, they want violence. They want all this stuff. And I'm telling you, you don't. Because that's not what God put us here for.
Yeah.
And it's individually, we have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and take care of our families, create, build, and pass on. And when I say pass on, because you're going to pass, you are going to pass through this life, and everything you've accumulated while you were here will pass to your children. It's going to pass to somebody. If you ain't got no kids, somebody going to get it. Right. And so that's why I've always been a firm believer in enjoying your life. If you work hard to get something, enjoy it. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you can afford certain things in life, get those things. You know what I mean? Because they made more than one of them. That's why I understand. I've never understood why people hate on somebody having a nice house, a nice car, a pretty wife, or something. There's more than one. Yeah. There's more. You can get your own. You ain't got to worry about mine. Go get yours. There's plenty of it. But the problem is, a lot of people don't want to work for it. They don't want to endure for it. Exactly. They don't want to go through for it. And I've said this before, and I'm sometimes seeing your ambition and your drive, and I'm talking to you, Dewan, people looking at you, they look at you and your drive, your ambition, your willingness to succeed is a constant reminder of their failure. Yeah. And that's a hurtful thing to a lot of people. Yeah. They, I can't do that. I can't do that. And first thing, you got to take a deep breath. You have to stop. See, I didn't start being successful and getting to a certain level until I stopped looking at what everybody else was doing. Man, come on. I started focusing on what Trey was doing. Yeah. Mo's doing. And once I started focusing on what Mo is doing, man, I started thriving. I started looking at ways to be better, areas to be a better husband, areas to be a better employee at the job. Yeah. Also areas to be better for myself. That's key. You know, everybody wants to be good for this and good for that, good for this person, good for the job, good for the kids. But it all starts with being good for yourself. You have to be good for yourself. Yeah. So that means being mindful of what you're putting into your body, having a healthy spirit of exercise, giving time to God, reading, get out, do your walk, just walk. Yep. And take in the nature. You know what I mean? These brief moments of life that we take for granted. Man, I started looking at all that type of stuff again, and my experiences have truly shaped my character into where I'm at today. And I'm not for everybody. But you know what? I don't have to be for everybody. I'm for myself and I'm for my family first, and I'm for God. So if I got those three, I'm good. So anything else, whatever you think is what you think, cool. Keep it over there. I'm gonna keep it pushing, man. And you know, and also what's really important, and I think we close it out here. I think on our next episode, talking about finances. Yeah. I think finance is key. And when I say finances, I want everybody at home and everybody listening to understand. You don't necessarily, it's great to be a millionaire. Everybody wants millions of dollars. I want millions of dollars. My goal is to see millions and billions and trillions of dollars. I want to jump in the money bin like Scrooge McDuck and swim on through there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you've got to be faithful with the money that you do have. Yeah. You have to know how to stretch that 40,000, 50,000, 60, 70, whatever it is, whatever kind of money you see and you're getting, you got to know how to be faithful with that money. Yep. Because Five Talents, if you hadn't read it. Right. That's exactly. A great story to read. So if you don't know how to use that minimal amount, you'll never get to the major amount. Mm-hmm. And it's an uphill battle. I get it, man. Life is expensive. Stuff is expensive. We got the inflation. Now we got the tariffs going off. We don't know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? The eggs is high. The milk is high. The gas is high. Interest rates are high. Well, damn, you got to survive. So, it goes back to figure it out. Because unfortunately, this stuff is changing in a way, and it's setting up society in a way. They're not going back. Like everybody's waiting on the housing market to crash. I'm gonna give me a good house as soon as that market crash. It's not crashing.
Yeah.
It ain't crashing. Not for you anyway. You know what I'm saying? With the price is the price. So you got to figure out how you can get to it. And that's the unfortunate reality, because that gap between the have and have nots is getting wider and wider. We're moving to a period in society where we just have the haves and the have nots. There is no in between. The in between, you know, everybody's standing on our back, you know. So we got to try to figure it out for yourselves and your family. So I think that's a great way to end the night, man. Hey, everybody keep grinding, keep God first.
Yep.
Believe in yourself. Without self-belief, you'll get nothing accomplished. And on the next episode, man, we'll dive into finance a little bit. We'll talk about areas in our lives that we find helpful. And again, I'm not a multi-millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, but I am sound enough to keep the lights on in here. I'm in a place where the lights is on. And I ate tonight. You know what I mean? I got some good juice that I'm drinking right here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to keep y'all's lights on and keep y'all's juice drinking and get you something to eat tonight. So with that being said, man, I'm Mo.
It was a good chat, man. We it was good just to have like a I don't want to say
open conversation, open dialogue.
Yeah, just open dialogue tonight. We hope y'all enjoyed that, and like Mo said, there's a lot of nuggets he dropped off in there. Next week talking about finances. But Mo touched on going out, and one of our topics we talk about is fitness. So stay out there, get yourself physically active, because you can't go get the finances if you're not healthy. To me, that's the most important financial decision that you're gonna make for your life, is if you take care of your health, because you get one body. Once that body is done, it's done.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I see it all the time. Take care of your body. Okay, that's the biggest asset that you have that you can control. They can't repo it from you. Nobody can take it from you. But you can dwindle it down to its minimal, weakest component by not taking care of yourself. So health is very important. What's 5 minutes? What's 10 minutes? What's 15 minutes a day for your health? Long term. You know what I mean? You're gonna pay now or you're gonna pay later. So take 15 minutes. Change your diet, whatever the case may be. If you're drinking 3 sodas, cut it down to 2. You know what I mean? Start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start, just start somewhere. So like Mo said, we're going to touch on finances next week. We're also going to have a Father's Day panel. Working on right now, putting together a Father's Day panel. So anyone listening, if you're a father, if you want to be a possible guest on the show, hit us up. We'll get you on, but we're going to have a good Father's Day discussion. I want all types of fathers, single fathers, fathers that are married, fathers that may have kids that passed away. We want a diversified panel of fathers here on Fathers.
Get us a Rolling Stone father, absentee father. Exactly. You can tell that real. You can tell why you ain't there. Don't keep it real. Hey, I love them kids, but they mama, I can't stand it. Why I ain't there now? You know, whatever you want to get out there, you can put it out there.
Put it out there. No, but I think we're gonna have a good discussion, because I think fathers get overlooked a lot of times and downplayed of how significant their role is within the household, their role within the child's life.
That's right. We're gonna set it straight.
We're gonna debunk all the myths whenever we have that discussion. So we hope y'all enjoyed this. It's a short episode. It's not as long, but it's just us having like a open-end discussion. So till next time, remember, stay fit, fix your finances, and keep the faith.
Keep it up, baby. Hey.
Right. We go.